to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. It is, always have to look, Tuesday the 29th of November 2022, and you're very, very welcome here. It's morning with me. It's a beautiful, bright, not raining, frosty morning here in Devon where I live. British broadcasters always have to give you the weather forecast, don't we? There's frost on the grass and the cars needed defrosted this morning, but I just thought I'd come and just spend a wee bit of time with you this morning. Where you can find me will be down below in the show notes, and I haven't been here for a wee while, so I'm feeling super rusty. So this could be a disaster. This could be long, short, I don't know. But grab your knitting or your crochet or whatever craft you do, and maybe a nice hot drink and or cold drink, depending where you are in the world. And we'll just spend a wee bit of time catching up. And lots of M's already, sorry. And looking at a bit of knitting, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, you're very, very welcome here this morning, and I'm so glad that I was able to do this. I just haven't felt I could do it for a while, and I did say I was taking a break. And this morning I just woke up and thought, you know what, I'm just going to podcast. I'm just going to jump on. What will be, and I've just missed everybody so much, and I just want to bring you up to date a wee bit. But if you're not interested in my health or my well-being, no worries at all. Move on. Maybe this isn't the video for you. It's going to be 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I promise. If you haven't been here before, I've been going through a few health issues. And last time I said I was taking a wee break because surgery was imminent. Well, good old NHS. We love it. I worked for it for many years. I worked in it as a midwife and a nurse for many years. So I have great respect and great love for the NHS. But waiting lists are long, and what can you do? But in the middle of all this, I had another little health scare after a routine mammogram. So that was a bit of a curveball for me, but that has come back, and it's not to be worried about at the moment, and I have to get it checked again in a year. So that was a great relief to know that that was okay. Just after a routine mammogram, ladies, if you're offered mammograms, take them. They're uncomfortable. Mine was painful, but oh my goodness, what a way just to be able to jump on things straight away. Don't let it go. Don't ignore the letters that come, especially if you're in the UK, and take advantage of anything that can help towards better health. But in the meantime, almost a month ago tomorrow, I had my pre-op assessment. I've had my ECG, I've had my bloods, I've had my swabs, I've had everything, and I thought, great, this is great, and I still don't have a date. So yeah, I have had so many beautiful messages, so many beautiful emails from folk to say they're praying for me, to say they're thinking of me. Look, I don't have a life, altering illness. I have a large hernia there. It's out. Sorry if you're reading. I'll pop a picture up here. This is probably the best of me at the moment. I look like I'm pregnant. I have all the symptoms of being pregnant. Believe me, I'm not pregnant. It's very large. It's very painful. It makes me very nauseated. All the pregnancy symptoms. Sorry if this is too TMI. Very little sleep going on at the minute. And a grumpy Ruth. You can pray for my husband and kids. I am not a very good patient. I don't think many nurses are. And I think the problem was I was told it would be before Christmas, and I've had my all my workups done, and it's so tantalizingly close. Believe me, I don't want an operation, but this is just not fun. I know many of you are going through really hard times, so I am just feeling sorry for myself. Just ignore me. But that's what's been happening. That's where we are. They say that the pre-op assessment is good for 12 weeks, so I'm on the home straight, and I hope that I'll look less pregnant, I get some of this weight off, feel more like myself, go back to generally being a positive person. I think my poor husband's shocked at my mood some of these days, but when you're just sleep deprived, it just gets to you, doesn't it? But anyway, I have been knitting. And that's where I am. And if it was too much information, I do apologise. If you've switched off, well, you've already gone if you've switched off. But I just wanted to thank, I can't even count the many emails and DMs in Instagram that I've been sent. Just lovely, lovely, lovely messages, just wishing me all the best and everything. But we're still on the road. We're still chugging along. And yeah, what can you do? What can you do when you just have to wait the same as everybody else? But the end is in sight at some point. So I just thought, hey ho, I'll share that with you. And thank you. Thank you for caring. So I've got my notes as usual here, and I'm really hoping this won't be a super long one today for you. My head is just full of mulch. With no sleep, my head's just full of mulch, and that's the stuff you put down in the garden. Not that I don't do gardening. It just feels cloudy, foggy, not part of me. And I tell you, all the pregnancy symptoms without the pregnancy, and thankfully, and yeah, so I've been doing loads of comfort knitting, just loads of comfort knitting, re-knitting patterns that I've knit before. I'm just struggling to read any complicated patterns. I'm hoping this will all solve itself when sleep comes back and when things are back to normal. And so you'll have seen some of these things knit in previous times, and I've just used my beautiful wool. I'm not keeping any wool for good. I was keeping yarn for good. What am I doing that for? I'm using it all, and I just knit what I wanted to, and that was it. But there are a few wee things that I'm just looking here, because as I say, my head's mulch, so if I don't look at this, I'll not be able to do it at all. Well, I want to apologise for my last podcast. For those who've been asking, I will not or will never do Vlogmas. A, my life is beyond boring. B, my family is not photogenic. I'll put a picture here. This is the first photograph we have got taken as a family in probably since way before COVID kicked in, where the pandemic kicked in, and my mum and dad were here last week. Last week. It was lovely to see them. I hadn't seen them, I think, in 7 months. Put a picture of that up too. Our wee dog was in 7th heaven because my dad spoils are rotten, and the thought of getting them together for any point of Vlogmas. And also, if you watched my last podcast at the start, I thought I had a beautiful reel of beautiful photographs from a little yarn festival, local to me yarn festival, and it was rubbish. When I set it up, the pictures, you could see them no problem. They were the right size, all the rest of it. And when I uploaded to YouTube, all the magic was gone, and it was just, I may as well not have bothered. So for your lack to not torture you all with my rubbish, absolutely rubbish videography skills, I will let you all go to the wonderful Vlogmases that'll be coming out. I have to be honest, once I've seen somebody's Christmas tree and you know, bits and pieces, I'm not a Vlogmas watcher really. The one I do watch every single day is lovely Davina from Little Workroom Crafts, because she literally, you could be in the depths of despair and she would cheer you up. She gets so excited over every advent she opens. I commend you, if you are the sort of person who just loves enthusiasm, joyfulness, you check out Little Workroom Crafts, Davina's Vlogmas, and she's simple, the things she does, but her enthusiasm and love and joy just seeps through every pore, and I'll be watching her. That's the one I'll be watching. So that's my recommendation. But the other things that have come up are, if you remember way back to September, Fernanda of Little Monkeys and Me and myself did a knit along, crochet along, across the pond shawl cal, ATPS. This year we shortened it, on Instagram and Ravelry, and I announced my winners. And you may have realised that through Instagram that Fernanda had a death in her family. Her lovely brother died very suddenly, younger than Fernanda, And so she hasn't podcasted, and I'm sure everybody totally understands that. And we've just been praying so much for you, Fernanda, and your family at this time, especially coming up to Christmas, all those landmark times. And I know it's been big changes for you, especially, and your little kids and your hubby. And she obviously hasn't podcasted, she obviously hasn't announced prize winners. Please bear with her. She doesn't know when she'll be able to podcast again. I'm sure you can absolutely understand that. And it'll be a nice wee surprise when she does, and when she announces the winners. It could be months, it could be weeks, who knows, but that she'll eventually announce those, and when you least expect it, you maybe get a wee parcel through your door. But for my podcast, there was two, I mean, I've left it a long time. There was 2 prizes weren't claimed, and I've redrawn. Sorry if I'm sniffing, I just realised I am. And the prizes that we still have are an amazing So Yarnalicious voucher for £25. And the other one is this gorgeous yarn from For the Love of Yarn, and it is the colourway Farmer's Fields. And this was actually given to me by a lovely friend of mine, Caroline. Hi Lucy. And she was raising funds for local farmers in our area, actually, and she gave me one of these to give away. And it's just, even if green isn't your thing, I'm sure somebody else, there's rusts and yellows and greens, and For the Love of Yarn is a Scottish yarn dyer. And then this gorgeous, now it's a bit summery, but hey, you could keep it till next summer, or you maybe, you know, want to use it now. And that was donated by lovely Jeanette of Crafty Clegs Creations. She gave me quite a few bags, just a wee sock size. And then I've added in one of the wee shawl cuff, you see, Mulchbrain, just a wee leather shawl cuff from it's from Etsy. I got a few of them done at Projects 2020 custom order. They do loads of leather stuff, but I just thought this is just wouldn't take away from your beautiful shawl, but it'll keep it on your neck and round your shoulders, and it's in a nice wee bag. So that wasn't claimed. Those 2 weren't claimed actually. And let me pull that drawstring. And I realised last time how many times I said lovely, so I need to think of more, as my kids used to say, wow words. And beautiful, amazing, stunning. Is that good enough? And I've redrawn for those. Just take that, beautiful. And the person who has won those is Vivette_crafts and reads. I will put it on the screen. And that was from she knit a Garter Abyss, I think. A Garter Abyss, which is a lot of knitting, by Stephen West. So Vivette, if you get in touch with me, despite the Royal Mail strikes, I will get this in the post as soon as I can for you, and maybe you'll get it before Christmas. And then the next one, which is the So Yarnalicious, and I have a code for that, so you just get in touch with me either on Instagram or on my Gmail account. My email account is ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com, and this is Eloise.spence.7. Eloise.spence.7. And if those don't get claimed, I think we'll just keep them and we'll add them to another giveaway or something like that. But get in touch. I'll give you till next time I podcast. There's nothing I can do about it. But I hope those people watch, and we'll get in touch. I was going to do a Christmas giveaway, but it has been quite pricey to send all the gifts away, and with the strikes and everything, I think I'll save it to when we're all kind of a bit fed up in January, and maybe have some nice bright yarn or a nice project bag to pop in the post for somebody then when I come back to podcasting again. So that's all the admin. I said it was going to be quick, 13 minutes, oh dear me. Anyway, as I say, I've been knitting loads, I've been re-knitting stuff just because I just couldn't keep my head in patterns. And the first one I don't even have with me. Isn't that good? It's really good. I knit the, you know why I haven't got it with me? Because it's downstairs because I wore it yesterday. Anyway, I don't need to show you everything because I've knit mittens, hats. I did several pairs of mittens for my daughter's friends, and I'm not going to show you those either. So, but if you want to see this, it's on my Instagram, and it's the Zorzal shawl by Lisa Haynes, and I use Matter About Wool yarn that I got more than a year ago at the yarn festival. just close to me that I was mentioning a few minutes ago. I will try and put a picture of it up here, but I knit that right at the start. I saw a friend of mine had one, loved it, and I cast on. So that was my first, but I've also got on the train, annoyed with myself, I don't normally join bandwagons, but I've got on the Sofie shawl train by Petite knit, and honestly it's about probably maybe the only thing that Petite knit designs that would fit me, and it has been a blessing actually, because it's just so straightforward. I've knit 3. I'm only going to show you one. This is the last one. It's not blocked, only finished it the night before last, and I mean it's the most basic thing. It's, if you've watched any British podcast or any podcaster, they've done this, they've explained this to death. So it's got lovely I-cords either side. It does go into a bit of a dip. This is the middle size one, so this took 2 balls of DK wool. It's a great stash buster really for, I just had random bits and pieces. Goes right down to the tip, and it's just a scarf. That's just exactly what it says. She's got a small one, 3 sizes in this one, and I have to admit, I'm absolute stitch snob, because when I wear it, which, you know, I love it, but I want to say, you know, I can knit better than this. That's not what I mean. I mean, it reminds me of a garter scarf you knit when you first started knitting, but then you look at the detail, you look at the I-cord border, you look at the squishiness of the garter, and I love it. Now, I have on my other obsession that you all know I knit 10 of, which is the Mindfulness Shawl by Made with Loops. No, yes, and I knit 10 of these. And this actually, incidentally, is in Wool Matters Fibre Co. and the Pink Dream colourway. I told everybody it was Pim's colourway. It's not. It's the Pink Dreams colourway. And apparently somebody messaged her and asked her for the Pim's colourway, and she got very confused. And it's gorgeous. It's botanically dyed, 100% wool, and yes, those were my addiction. These could have been my addiction, but I think I'm over it at 3. Now this particular one is done in Rainbow Fusions yarn and Rain Dance. We don't need Rain Dance here in Devon at the minute, and it's 75% superwash merino nylon and DK 225 meters per 100 grams, and I had 2, but I actually have quite a wee bit left. I could have probably kept going, but anyway I stopped, and they've just been mindless middle of the night knits sometimes, and yeah, I've knit and knit and knit on shawls and scarves and things, and I might give them away, some of them I'll keep, but I've always been a process knitter, and this is exactly the process that I needed. So that's the 3rd one. I put some of the other ones, the pictures, on Instagram. They're just, if you just want a mindless knit, go for it. And a Petite knit Sofie shawl. Then maybe a mild obsession with this one. If you watch my last podcast, you'll know that I had a whip, and it was the Slip Crazy Shawl by Chit Chat Knits, and I know she watches the podcast. Put a picture of hers up there, and I just love the concept. You could pick any 2 self-striping or variegated. They didn't have to match, didn't have to go together, didn't have to be anything. And I have so many random one skein things, and a block and a solid colour in 50 grams, and I have those as well. And this is the one I finished. It's so quick because it slip stitches. And I finished this one shortly after the last podcast. Now it's a bit random colours, won't be for everybody, but I love it. And I don't have the balls to show you because I've already sent them off for a Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted mini skein thing that somebody wanted. So I don't have those for that one, but that was my first one. But the second one I absolutely love. And I actually took it as kind of a challenge of what could I put together that wouldn't match but that would work brilliantly. And I have my Christmas shawl. I've decided this is my beauty. Again, it won't be for everyone. I know there's many people who watch this podcast who just knit in plain colours, simple colours, earth colours. I absolutely love it. I'm going for a thumbnail there, can you tell? I'll show you the shawl first and then I'll show you the wacky colours. I mean, I just think for Christmas, I have, last year I had a yellow coat and I loved it, but nothing went with it. So this year I've gone for boring black, but I'm wearing all the brights underneath it. So 2 shawls, I'll be passing out. The style of it is perfect because this is the way I wear most of my shawls. And oh, I love it. But would you see the yarns that I used? You would never put them together. So the 2 that I decided were these 2. I mean, never. You would never put them together. And this one is from Knitting Needle Lane, which is a company in the UK, and she often does, if you want to try tan-dyed yarn, she often does 50% off. I think this was less than £10. This beautiful self-stripe and sock yarn, and it's, I don't think the name of it, Chasing Rainbows it's called, and it's just merino nylon. And then this one is, it's got a sparkle. You can see the sparkle. That's the other thing. It's got sparkle. And it's by Kosy Kitchen Fibres, Birds of Paradise Sparkle. And it's superwash merino nylon with 2% sparkle. I think we've all got more than 2% sparkle, haven't we? Although some days, these days, I don't even think I've got 0%. But, and then the solid colour I chose was a leftover. It's gorgeous. It's darker than that. That's too bright. It's darker than that. And it's just a leftover from the Paw Ply yarn company, and its roses are red, and I can't remember, I've used this in socks and different things, and it's like the yarn that just keeps going. So I think I've definitely got to the end of it now, and this is what we came up with. I love it. I just think it's great. And I look forward to wearing that. Our church is doing a pantivity. I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to help with the teas and things on Saturday, and I thought this would be perfect. Friday and Saturday night actually, and I thought this would be perfect to wear. I have a red dress as well because that's probably as festive as and there's different things with the schools and stuff, and some days I don't make it out to them and some days I do. So I thought, well, even if I'm not feeling great, this will cheer me up. So have a wee look. If colourful things, you can do it with solids as well. Have a wee look on her. She's got a cowl in it as well, and she did have a sale on, but that might be done by now. It might have been a Black Friday sale. Chit Chat Knits, and have a wee look and see. But won't be for everyone, but I've loved it. Absolutely loved it. I don't even need the pattern now. I know it just comes off. Ruth, calm down. See, I do this and then I fade for the rest of the day. But anyway, then if you remember my beautiful friend Hannah, who's going to be mentioned again in a minute. Hi Hannah. Gave me gorgeous yarn for Christmas that she dyed, and it reminded me of the Ukraine flag, and I made the Exordium Shawl by Fuse Fibre Studio. And I always said I'd love to knit another one in a more muted colours, and thought, well, if not now, when? And I did. I knit around the right way. This beauty. Oh, it's so drapey. It's so soft. And it's coming up, yeah, it's coming up pretty well. That's maybe a wee bit lighter, but I look at the drape, it's just gorgeous. And this is another one that is just comfort. Once you've got this wee stitch, it's just, I mean, garter and squishiness, and it's just gorgeous. Hope you got a really good view of that. There's a picture of it on my Instagram if and this is, I've already stuck it in my book, so I don't have the labels, but this is Attic Spin Dye, and you know I've used a lot of Attic. I can't get over the drape. It's so buttery soft. It's merino nylon. It's not no cashmere or anything, but it's so soft, and it's Attic Spin Dye, and these are the colours. Just 2 wee bits left. You can see the lovely pinks, and And I bought this last year for Christmas and I just said to Andy and Angela who run Addict Spin Dye, and I said, because I knew I was wanting to knit this again, what two colours would go well together. I think maybe I treated myself at Christmas. And this is, I've got the names here, this is Cappuccino. And this is Hot Chocolate with all the trimmings. Now, I didn't look to see if this was still up for grabs on the website, but I'm sure if you wanted it. But as I say, I can't get over, once it was blocked, I mean, it was lovely to knit with too, but once it was blocked, it was absolutely gorgeous. Try this for a thumbnail. And it's just a great size, you know, just doubled, just a great size again for under your coat. Or I'd be honest, because I've not been out and about that much, I've been wearing shawls all day long in the house with shawl pins and different things, and take it off, put it on, take it off. And my mum actually took a picture of me when she was here and said I looked like old Mother Hubbard. I don't care, I was so comfortable, loving all my shawls. Take me or leave me. And then I was talking about Hannah. Now, this is not my finished object, but Hannah, I hadn't seen her in quite a while because she's been at home, I've been at home, whatever. But we did manage to meet up a wee while ago for knit group, and she gave me a beautiful little parcel wrapped in tissue paper. And she'd taken part in the cal, and she had crocheted this beauty. So this is the Virus shawl. Not sure who it's by. I don't crochet. Well, you know, I do my one stitch. I'm sure some of you, if you've crocheted, you've done this. And apparently it's in woolly knit, but I mean, it goes beautifully with this dress actually, but it's too warm to wear. And she presented me with this and gave me it as a gift. And I have to admit, I cried right in the middle of a coffee shop. Is there anything better than a handmade gift for somebody who, you know, knits or crochets or whatever and gives things away normally? So for her to give me that, I was just overwhelmed. I mean, she's the kind of soul anyway, but I just love it, and I wouldn't begin to be able to crochet something like that. And she got my colours, like she absolutely got my colours. She got the yellow in, she got the sort of rust in, the pink, everything. Sorry, that's our dog. I just thank you so much. I've worn it loads, and it's so soft, and it's 100% wool. It's just lovely. I've worn it around my shoulders, I've worn it around my neck, everything. So thank you, Hannah. So that's a finished object, but it's not my finished object. I apologise for the dog. It's probably a leaf falling off the tree. Anyway. Oh, so whips. I probably have many more, but these are the ones that I'm working on. I've just cast on whatever I wanted to cast on. Comfort knitting all the way. And the first one is another Slip Crazy Shawl by Chit Knits, and it's in my one and only Christmas bag. She's downstairs and she's still bringing the house down. I'll show you what I've done so far. So this is again, I just put my hand in, lifted out two balls of yarn and a solid, and this, I'm sorry, this is what I've got so far. I'm gonna close the door, see if that helps. No, it won't. See, my dad has been here spoiling her, and now she's got nobody to spoil her, and she doesn't like it. So this is what I've got so far. Purples I've gone for this time, and greens. And I'll show you the two colours that wouldn't go together normally. And they are, we're just going to soldier on. She'll stop eventually. Now, I would never put these together. But they're working beautifully, I think. And then my solid is just a wee 50 gram that I have in my stash. The 50 gram is needle and thread. And it's Dead and Berried, but the Berried is B-E-R-R-I-E-D. And then the other two are, oh, I think, yes, this had no label on it. This, I think, was given to me by lovely Jan from Faithful Sheep podcast, and who I was meant to meet a couple of weeks ago, and she very graciously said, and I had to cancel plans. I just couldn't make it. She wasn't feeling well, and she was very gracious and didn't make me feel bad about it. She was down on holidays down here. And then this one is just, I got it in the woolly beater last year sometime, I think with Christmas money, and it's just a Manos Del Uruguay in Allegra, and in I'll let you read that. I don't know if you'll be able to read that. Cincuenta or something. And it's so soft. It's really soft. And those two, so if you have random one skein things, you like the look of this wee shawl, you want an easy meditative, repetitive knit for this time of the year, especially, you know, when maybe family are around or you're doing things, I highly recommend. Now I think that's probably it for my probably third one is enough. This is a little bag from Rick Rack Rim. She's not making bags anymore. Yeah, that's my token Christmas bag. So, and then I'll show the other one. This is the one that's captured my heart the most. I've had this pattern in my my pattern book for months and months and months, and it's the Be Calm shawl. I'll put a picture up here. It is, you can get it free if you get it from her blog, but it's only £2 something from Ravelry. So I bought it off Ravelry just to support her a tiny wee bit, and I just haven't been able to put it down really. I'm not too far from the end now. And it's massive. Now, as I said, some of those other things I'm knitting I might give away, I might put to you know, whatever. But this is mine. This is all mine. And this is what I've got so far. Now, this is a lovely, is there a name on it? Mustard. So this isn't coming out. That's not right. Sorry. It looks brown or something. That's not coming out. Anyway, and this is what we've got so far. So moss stitch. And now this is the honeycomb cables. So easy. I mean, it's so intuitive. Not used to this anymore. So intuitive. And my wee yellow progress keeper from Lilla, lovely Lilla. And you just keep doing this and then a border. But I can't. This is just, I mean, the squish off this, the smell. 100% wool, but it's not scratchy or itchy. And actually, I got this from HobbyCraft, which is a big craft store here in the UK. It's the Women's Institute, homegrown, exclusive to HobbyCraft, 100% and DK. They don't have a lot of colours in it, but they always do buy three get one free. 3 for 2 is what I'm trying to say. So I had 6, and it's going to use all 6, I think. It's 225 meters. Now I bought this one night. I had taken the kids to get their COVID jabs, and HobbyCraft in Plymouth is right beside Smith's Toys. Now my kids are past toys, but my son is still obsessed with Lego, and we said we'd go and have a look. You know, as you do. And HobbyCraft was next door, and I saw that the 3 for 2, and it's only, you know, £5 or £6 for a 100-gram ball, and I picked it up. And it's been sitting in my stash for a long time, and I actually tried to de-stash it, and it didn't sell, and I just cast it on. So, and I'm so glad I did, and I would definitely buy it again in another colour. I don't think they have many, maybe only 4 or 5 colours. But it is knit up beautifully. Excuse me, it is knit up beautifully. It's lovely to knit with, and I think even blocking will make it even softer. And that, I would say, I'm in the middle of I've just started the last round of these, so and then the border, and that'll be me finished. And it's got a lovely I-cord thing. So if you like the look of that, check out, I didn't say who it was by, that would be helpful. Lilla Bjorn, I'll put that in the show notes. It is written and charted, which I always think's great. Show your name. Lilla Bjorn, don't know what nationality she is. Give it a go, and if you're in the UK, and you're on a bit of a budget, I would recommend that wool. Sorry, rustly. And last but not least, obviously I've got socks in the go in my handbag and whatever. I've had quite a few hospital visits, so I've been knitting in the waiting room. I was going to say the changing room, in the waiting room. And then the other night, because those weren't enough. Oh, too much time to think these days. I decided to just cast on an Old Faithful. Probably the most worn shawl of mine last year was the Painting Honeycombs by Stephen West. I did it in a charcoal grey and a yellow and grey. The honeycombs were yellow and grey. I've shown it on the podcast. It might even have been one of my thumbnails. And I decided to cast on another one. Excuse me, need a wee drinky. And I had got, especially when your stash is too big, when you look through it and you realise you've two of the same yarn in different bags. But if you remember back, if you're a long-time viewer, I did a sample knit for lovely Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns, and as payment she paid me in yarn. And I bought, yes I did. And I realised that I'd ordered the same yarn offered twice. Must have really wanted it. And then the other yarn is one that I tried to de-stash as well and didn't sell, and now I'm knitting with it. So if you hold on to something, it doesn't just happen in fashion, it happens in yarn. And I'll show you the yarns I'm using first of all, and this one is from my yarn place, and it is Denim Superwash Merino Nylon 400 meters, and it's denim. I have two of those. And then this beauty is from Blue Fern Yarns. I've mentioned Shannon a lot. And this is called Spectrum, and it's her platinum sock. 75, 25, 425 meters. And it's, my bright. And I thought, would those two go together? I don't know. So I'm in the slip crazy mode that you can put everything together now. And I think they do. So the pattern is the Stephen West, I do have it in here. Stephen West, my writing to save printed. Honeycombs, I did the large ones before, and this is the small ones. And it's really meant for, I think, mini skeins, but sure, there's no rules, no police, no knitting police. And this is what I've got so far, and I think it works. And it's really actually dulled down the brightness, which I'm not sad about, but I'm, whatever. You can see the individual. And I actually was saying to my daughter, I fancy, if it didn't curl, I wouldn't block this, because these are just so, like, nearly 3D, but it might curl the more that I get on with it. I think it's great. I love it. And it's been a meditative knit too. I mean, anything with slip stitches, just slip, 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 slip. And this is, it's all very intuitive. You can see where you need to slip. You can see where you need to knit. So that's my shawls. I haven't done anything but shawls. Sorry if you're not a shawl wearer. You couldn't care less about shawls. But I just wanted to knit things that comfort knit again, I say. And things I didn't have to switch my brain on too much for. That sounds bad. They're not brainless knits, but it's just I've knit them before. And apart from the Bee Cam shawl, and by the way, that's BEE Cam because of the honeycomb. Very clever, isn't it? Apart from that one, but it's so intuitive too. You can see, if you can read your knitting, you can see where you need to cross over the stitches and stuff. And I don't use a cable needle, I just use a wee stitch marker. It's so but much less bulky, and they've all been just pleasure to knit. Just hide away with my shawl on. I have many garments that I've in my mind. I want to knit even more from the contrast book. I have yarn to knit from the contrast book, but it just won't be pre-Christmas the way things are in my head and all the rest of it. So I hope you'll forgive me. I hope it hasn't been boring for you, and I hope that just came to say hello, really. Before I do go, I want to just show one more pattern that I have knit many times. And if you're still in the gift knitting or starting your gift knitting, or you want something quick to knit, I would just commend this fin hat to you again. I mentioned it a few times. This is actually Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns. This is her mum, and I've met her and she's lovely. But she designed this hat, and it's such a great stash buster. Really, really good. DK fin hat by Amanda Long. It's on Ravelry. few pounds, but all of the proceeds are going to Cancer Research UK. And I don't think any of us have not been touched by cancer in some way. I know even the minute scare that I had a cousin who died from cancer, and any wee thing that you can do, and if you're maybe knitting for the homeless, knitting for charity, knitting just a different hat, and it's so easy to do. It's not difficult at all. I've knit many of them with and without the pom-pom, and I probably will cast a couple more on, but I commend that wee pattern to you. As it's for charity, obviously. And also the other pattern I wanted to commend to you, I'll see if I've got a picture of it, is from the Crazy podcast, from Rebecca Clow. I'll put the details in the show notes. And the name of it's completely gone from me. Oh, that's terrible. Bear with. Oh, I hate when people watching people I don't remember. Rebecca, I'm sorry. Anyway, she's knit a jumper, a sweater in this, and why would things not work when you want them to? See, it's all gone to pot. Menopause, there's it there. Beautiful picture of it. I wonder, could you see that? No, let me see if I can darken it a wee bit. I'm sure you've seen it anyway. Oh, that's perfect. Look. Oh, I'm like the grocery girls now, showing things on my phone. And it is the Cargill cowl. Oh, Rebecca, I'm so sorry. I have the pattern for the sweater, which will be done at some time. Anyway, the Cargill cowl is for this month, so I'm hoping I'm getting in just before the end of the month. She's raising funds for the Fistula Foundation, and just get the details. Fistula Foundation. If you've watched this podcast at all, you know that I've worked in Bangladesh for quite a few years in my previous life as a midwife. So we saw day and daily the damage that fistulas do, the horrendous life that women have if they've got fistulas. Fistulas come about by either trauma in childbirth or prolonged childbirth or mismanagement of childbirth, and as so many people, especially in Bangladesh, are still delivering at home, which is perfectly fine, but often they don't have the care, they don't have the antenatal care, they don't have the proper care. And I worked with amazing doctors who had the skill to fix these fistulas, and the difference in the women's lives and the families' lives. If you have a fistula, it means that you can be doubly incontinent. Sorry, at the beginning of this podcast a bit detailed, and at the end of this podcast a bit detailed. You can be doubly incontinent, and in many cultures you are just cast out. I remember meeting some women who they didn't even feed them. They put them in a shed away from the village because of the smell, because of the shame, because of whatever, and they starved them almost to death. And then thankfully someone brought them to the hospital and we were able to get them back to health and strength. It's a massive problem in the developing countries, and oh, Rebecca, I get emotional just thinking about the fact you're raising money for them, because I've seen it firsthand. And some of the people it happens to are as young as 12 or 13, even, you know, and their lives are destroyed. So thank you, Rebecca. If you want to buy either of those patterns, it would make such a difference to people, and I hope you will. Even if you don't knit them, buy them anyway and give a wee donation. And all of the proceeds from those two patterns all the time from Finn, the Finn hat, until the end of this month for the Cargill cowl. So go and buy them, go and treat yourself. And they're both very quick knits and they make lovely presents. So there you are, we gift ideas. Now, I haven't got anything big to share with you. You're normally at the end of my podcast, I share a wee thought with you, but this was such a last minute decision to do that I just thought I would just share a verse that I shared in my first podcast, because I have been looking to the Lord a lot recently, just fed up and grumpy, and I'm just going to leave this scripture with you, and it's Isaiah 40:31, and it's been such a comfort to me. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And that's Isaiah 40:31. And, you know, for some of us, that might be once we get to heaven. That might be once we have an operation. But I'm looking to the Lord every day for my comfort, my strength, my hope. And I pray for you today that if you know and love the Lord, that that is what you're doing too. He's still on the throne. He's still in control. No matter how, humanly speaking, we look out into the world and think hope's gone, but hope is everything. And that's all I want to leave with you today. It's been a comfort to me over these last few weeks, and yeah, that's all I want. I just want to leave that wee verse with you today. Thank you again for all those who've got in touch. Thank you again for all those who are praying for me. Listen, we'll get through. I'll get through this. This isn't life threatening, so many people have much worse issues going on. I'm just feeling sorry for myself. But until I see you, I can't say when that'll be, but until I see you again, feel free to get in touch. Feel free to email or DM or whatever. And someday I'll knit more than just shawls. But until then, I hope you have a lovely December. I hope, and whatever you're doing, you'll remember the reason for the season, and you'll remember it's not about the presents, it's not about all of those, the lights and the tinsel, but it's about our Saviour coming to this earth as a baby in Bethlehem, and that's what we celebrate. And I pray that you'll stay safe, you'll keep warm, and that you'll have a really good December. And if I don't see you before Christmas, a really, really blessed Christmas time. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you'll still have some time with your family, time off, and time to knit. Don't neglect the knitting, even in the rush and bustle. Thanks again so much. I apologise if this is all over the place, but I just wanted to jump on, and yeah, have a great day. All right, God bless. Bye.